It feels like every series we do the same thing. Throughout the baseball playoffs, we read way too much into game one or game two, even game three. And remember, the Rays led the Astros 3-0 and had to go to 7 games. Meanwhile, the Dodgers down 3-1 went 7 games before they advanced. Los Angeles takes game one. Clayton Kershaw, everything's great. Power by the Dodgers. Then the Rays come back last night, winning game 2, 6-4, reminding us that this might be a competitive series. Blake Snell was brilliant on the mound. Brandon Lau broke out of his slump. And now the Rays have Charlie Morton on the mound. Game 3 against Walker Buehler Jr. III. I'm not going to get fooled again in this series. One way or another, I'm just going to let it play out. Hope it's competitive. And that seems like a very likely possibility at this point. But last night, the Rays did it with hitting and pitching. Here is Blake Snell, the Rays pitcher.
Every game right now is obviously a must-win, but I didn't feel the pressure of we really need to win. I felt more of the pressure on myself, like let's get it going and let's, give this team something to push forward with.
Here's Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, on his pitchers.
I think that I still trust them. I still believe them, and they just got to, make pitches. I know that they want to make pitches and execute pitches, so we'll kind of look at the video and see what we can do better at, but they're still going to need to get big outs for us.
And once again, the World Series has the day off. We'll talk to Al Leiter. I don't want to dive into the analytics again, but I'm watching last night, and it was a common opinion, common knowledge, that this was a bullpen game for the Dodgers. This is the World Series, and I know I'm old school, but I'm not that old. Like, this is game 2 of the World Series. Can I get my second best starter out there for 5 innings instead of using 5 different pitchers in 5 innings? I would like to use those pitchers again the rest of the series, but Blake Snell pitched extremely well, and then they turned it over to the bullpen. Now it's just go 5 innings, if even that. But it was a bullpen session last night, basically. And you had all of your bullpen guys pitching an inning. And this is the World Series. It's game 2. And a lot of success in World Series history is predicated on having usually 2 great starters. If you show me a rotation that has 2 great starters, I'm going to favor that team. Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole. Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. Just, you have those pitchers. I like your chances a whole lot more. Now I'm not sure, because of the analytics here. And I'm open to change. I understand where the game is now. And I'm not going to do this, hey, get off my lawn. These games are too long. A game can be long. It can be 4 hours, but it can be entertaining. These games, I don't care how long they are, they're not entertaining from the standpoint of there is no movement whatsoever. Everybody throws 100. Remember, it used to be, man, that guy throws 100. Now, if you don't throw 100, I go, what's wrong with you? If you haven't had Tommy John surgery, what? Do you call yourself a pitcher? Now it's exit velocity, launch angle, and it's basically, let's dig in, I'm swinging, and you're throwing. And the little things that made up baseball, and maybe, the analytics say you don't win this way. Okay. But last night, I'm watching the same thing. You got guys who swing and miss, and it's okay. Pitchers who, throwing 98, 99, 100. All right. But that's the game. I think as we move forward, and baseball has the oldest demographic as far as fans go, and you got to be careful with that. I'm not saying bells and whistles. Like, I like when players are demonstrative. If you have fun, you're enjoying the game, then great. You should be able to do that. Pitchers strike you out, you want to celebrate, go ahead. At your own peril. Home run, bat flip, fine with that. Don't throw at the next guy. But just the sheer enjoyment of the game. And you could see this. But it changed. And it felt like overnight with, let's just go to the bullpen for game 2 of the World Series. I know we used to get caught up in these pitching matchups. Hey, it's going to be Denny McLain and Bob Gibson. Sandy Koufax is on the mound. Now it's who? And he's only in there for an inning. Now we'll bring the closer and put him in the first inning. Okay. If it's, let me get your top of your lineup out, and he's only going to pitch 1 inning, and then maybe we get ahead. Okay, I get it. I think baseball might be outsmarting itself here. Runner at second base in extra innings? Okay. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would do with Major League Baseball. Just, I'd tidy it up. You come in from the bullpen, you don't get to throw any pitches. If I bring a guy off the bench to pinch hit, he doesn't get to go, can I get some BP? Like, it doesn't happen. Like, hey, give me, throw me a couple. You know, the shift, I would have a line right down the middle of the field, center field to home plate, you know, catcher to second base, and then you got your second baseman can't be on the other side of that. Your shortstop can't be on the other side of that line. You know, I want to increase offense here. I want movement here. I would love to see the ball put in play. And I promise this will be my last get up on a soapbox and talk about, it'll be my next to last.
Don't guarantee it, please.
It'll be one of my next to last, because Al Leiter's coming up. I want to ask him, and I'm trying to be open-minded about this, because McLovin says it's the way, it's new, it's the analytics. I mean, this is the way the game is played now. Yeah, McLovin.
So is it possible the Dodgers staff was just too worn out after the last series, so they needed to sort of take the L this game? Buehler would have been 3 days rest. So,
but where the Dodgers were built on great pitching
I'm
for the
looking at
last 50 years.
Their options were Gonsolin, Julio Urias, and Dustin May, and May is sort of fallen off. They didn't have another starter, I guess.
I know, but where did they go?
I have no idea. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How come the options aren't better?
It used to be you'd have 4 starters. Now you got to have, and the reason why I really like Tampa this year was the depth of their pitching. I mean, they use everybody, and they've got 12 to 15 arms that they can use. The Dodgers I loved because of their hitting. I wasn't impressed with their pitching. And so now you're getting, if one team gets hitting and pitching, they're going to win. You know, Tampa got hitting last night to go along with their pitching. The Dodgers, you know, they didn't have pitching last night. Yeah, Paulie.
Walker Buehler on 3 days rest. Could he have done worse in 5 innings and give up 6 runs? Probably not, based on Walker Buehler's background. And also, how tired can a 26-year-old starting pitcher be who pitched a total of 36 innings this season? 36 innings in the regular season. He usually pitches 220.
But I understand, I don't want Walker Buehler on 3 days rest. If I know that he's so much better on 4 days rest, I feel good. I feel confident about winning that game. It's just, when I hear this, hey, it's a bullpen game. Usually, you don't say that prior to a game, because I know that you'd always want to get into somebody's bullpen, but that's not the case. Yes, McLovin.
One more counter argument. Everything's weird because of COVID, and like the schedules are condensed, so you can't manage your pitching staff like you normally would. Isn't there less rest, less travel days?
But if there's less rest, how about I have somebody who can go 5 or 6, and then I can rest my bullpen? That's what I don't understand. We're playing these games day after day. Now, you do have a day off now, and I think a day off after Game 5. Am I trying to conserve my bullpen? That would be the only thing that I'm still trying to figure out.
Is this like what the Yankees did against the Rays in Game 2, where they kind of tried this? And
yes, and it backfired.
Yeah.
Yes, and it backfired. But, you know, the Yankees go out and buy pitchers all the time. That's what was surprising with the Dodgers. They have great hitting. The pitching is kind of suspect. It really is. I love Walker Buehler. Kershaw, you know, you're going to bank on Kershaw coming back Game 5 and pitching great? I guess so. But that's going to be 5 innings. And then you turn it over to the bullpen. I'm trying to be open-minded about this. Okay? And that won't be my last rant, I'm sure.